What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Come On Big Fish. I am your host, Derek Connerly, and today we are going to put up 25 pounds of fresh caught Mississippi white shrimp. Check them out. That's just a few of them. The rest of them are buried underneath the ice. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the heads off. We're going to save the lower part of the head, which is also known as a sea spider locally. We're going to fry those because they're full of meat and they're crunchy and they taste really good. And we're going to take the body of the shrimp, the tails, we're going to put them into plastic containers, cover them in water, and freeze them. Put them up for later. Here's one of our white shrimp. Of course, that's the tail, that's the head, and this part underneath here is what they call the sea spider. We're going to keep that and fry that. Really, really good. So the first thing you want to do, let's see if I can get this turned around for you. Go. I'm going to pop this head off. You're going to pinch right here with your thumb and your middle finger. There's a little hard spot right here. You want to pinch that off. Throw this part away. Pull this off the sea spider. You got that piece left. You're going to fry these, and you got your tail left. These we're going to freeze. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut this milk carton for you, or milk jug rather. I'm sorry. You want to leave the handle on there, so that way you got something to grip. You just want to take your pocket knife. You can use whatever you want to. This is my pocket knife I carry fishing with me, so it's got a little surface rust on the edge of the blade because it's been out in the salt water. I want to make an incision right about here where it curves, and insert your point of your knife and then slowly work it around. Right there on that curve, and then I'm going to come back over here to that curve, turn your knife, follow it up, cut through, and bring it around to meet the other side. That way you've got a big handle to hold on to with, and it's sturdy. There you go. That's what it looks like. Just like that. We're going to put all the shrimp in there and get it to about probably the top of this little button right here, and then we're going to fill it with water. Then we're going to put it in the freezer. That way they'll last a long time. All right, y'all, we ended up with 3 gallons of shrimp. Now you see how these shrimp right here kind of sticking out of the water? I'm going to let it freeze and we'll pour some more water on top of it, so that way it freezes and covers the shrimp entirely. All right. And we got, I don't know, probably about 3 or 4 pounds of soft shell shrimp and sea spiders, which is the underside of the shrimp head. I've got probably about 3 or 4 pounds of shrimp. Get out my shadow out of the way. Left in the cooler that we're going to boil tonight with some potatoes, and we're going to eat good. Alright guys, I'm getting everything ready for the boil this evening. So I'm going to pick a few of these peppers, put in there. Got some jalapenos here, and I've got some poblanos down the steps. I'll make a mixture of both of them in there. Adds a little bit of extra flavor. The last time I did this was on some crabs, and it actually made the crabs taste kind of like gumbo, which is really good. Alright y'all, today we're using some Zatarans, crawfish, shrimp, and crab boil. Stuff I grew up on, best in the world. This is going to be our boiling pot here, and this is going to be our soaking pot. So I'm going to add about 1 cup of this to the boiling pot. I'm going to add 2 to 3 cups into the soaking pot, because the soaking pot is where it's actually going to pick up all the spices and the flavors and everything. The boiling pot's just going to basically kind of cook it. So we're going to go kind of light into the boiling pot. Alright, that should be close to a cup. Over here, we're going to do about double to triple that. Now you want to watch it when you're using this stuff, because if it gets airborne, and it's going to get airborne, you're going to start sneezing. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance, because I'm probably going to sneeze here in just a second. Now we're going to add the water here in just a minute. We're going to put enough in there to cover this, because this is what we're going to put our shrimp in. We're going to take it, plop it down in there and let it boil, and we're going to move it over here to the soaking pot and let it soak. Now, I've got just enough shrimp to fill this up, so it should be just about perfect. It's enough for a meal for 2 people and possibly some leftovers for tomorrow. So I'm going to let these things sit here for just a minute. When it gets a little bit closer, because it's only 1:20 in the afternoon, we're going to do this for dinner. We're going to put some potatoes in the soaking pot and go ahead and bring that to a boil. And when the potatoes get done, I'm going to shut the heat off, let it cool back down. And when it cools back down, not quite the room temperature, I mean, you keep it about 140, 150 degrees, somewhere in that ballpark. We're going to fire this one up and get it to boiling. Once it comes to a rolling boil, we'll drop the shrimp down in there, give it a few minutes to let it come back up to a rolling boil. And if you look on the side of the Zatarans here, it tells you how long to cook them for. When you had a rolling boil with shrimp, you want to cook it for 1 minute. Then shut it off, take them out, shut it off and let it soak for 2 to 5 minutes or longer if you want them hot or spicy. Then take them over here to the soaking pot and let them soak for another 2 to 5 minutes, or a little more, a little less, depending on how you want them. By doing it this way, it's going to make the shrimp a lot easier to peel. I've covered this a little bit in a previous video. If you guys want to go back there and check that out, I think it was during TS Cristobal when we were boiling shrimp and smoking Spanish mackerel. Alright, I went ahead and put the jalapenos in there, and the one poblanos in the other one over here in the soaking. I've got 4 in here, and I've got 8 in here. Remember, twice as many in the soaking pot as in the boiling pot. Same with the crab boil. We're going to start adding the water. Now you don't have to do it this way. You can put the pot in the sink and fill it up however you want to. It's not a big deal. So I'm probably going to do 2 gallons in this one, 2 gallons in this one. That way we keep everything, the concentration right. So I'm going to continue doing that, and then I'm going to start the soaking pot up here in a little bit, which is this one. Boil some potatoes and get that ready to rock and roll. Get them out of the way, and then after that's done, I'm going to fire the boiling pot up and get that one up to temperature. And I'm going to add the shrimp, wait for it to come back up to a rolling boil, cook for 1 minute, turn it off, take them out, let them soak in this one. This one will be turned off too, so it'll be in between room temperature and boiling, so somewhere probably around 130, 150 degrees. Not too hot, not too cold. And it'll soak for approximately 5 to 10 minutes. Well, we got the vegetables in there. We got some mushrooms, and we got some potatoes, and of course the jalapenos and the one poblano. We got it on high heat. We're gonna let this come to a boil. As soon as the vegetables get done, we're gonna shut it down. This is gonna be the soak pot, remember? So it's gonna let it cool down, and then we're gonna fire this one up. Let it get the rolling boil. We're gonna add these shrimp. All right, guys, I went ahead and got the shrimp out of the cooler. Set them over here and gave them a good rinse. Melted any residual ice that was in the strainer with them, so that way it will bring the water back up to a boil a little bit faster instead of cooling it down so much. Lower the temperature, or excuse me, raise the temperature of the shrimp just a little bit, and it won't take you an extra you know, 10-15 minutes to get the water back up to a boil, so it'll be a little bit quicker. All right, finally got up to a boil, and we dropped the shrimp in there, cooled it off real quick. So we're gonna give it a few minutes to come back up to a rolling boil, and then we'll set the timer for about 1 minute. And once it gets done there, we're gonna grab it with the tongs as carefully as possible, lift it out, and set it in the soaking pot. All right, had it boiling for 1 minute. I tried to get that on film, but I had a little camera malfunction, so I had to do it this way. I'm sorry if I'm sniffling. That's all the crab ball in there. It's definitely got the sinuses inflamed. So we're gonna let this soak for about I don't know, 5 minutes here. We're gonna move it over into the real soaking, where the magic happens, and then we're gonna take it out there and drop it right there on top of the vegetables. That way it'll warm the vegetables back up with the juice draining off of it, and everything will be the same temperature. And we're gonna pour it out on a big platter and just get down with it. All right, we got it all moved over to the soaking pot. You see them floating? I'm gonna give them about 5-10 minutes. When they start sinking, that's when you know the flavor is gonna be right. Then you can take it out, start on top of the vegetables, and we'll sit down and eat them. All right, y'all, our soak time is up. I went ahead and pulled them all out. Got them set on top of the vegetables, let them drain off. We're gonna let them cool for probably about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. Pour them out on the platter and with the vegetables and chow down. Got her special sauce. I've got my butter, because I like to dip mine in butter.
Oh, my special sauce is mayonnaise, fresh garlic, and sriracha mixed together.
Some good stuff. Alright, I'm gonna grab shrimp. Cut the head off. Peel it right quick. Give it a pinch on the tail. There we go.
Very, very good.
A little dunk in the butter. I'm glad you like it, dear.
I wanted to taste mine without the sauce first.
Man.
Well seasoned.
It makes it all worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of trouble if you buy the shrimp off the boat, but if you know what you're doing, you can make it a lot less trouble, and you can process it the way you want to, freeze it the way you want to, cook it the way you want to. I'm not saying my way is the best way, but I'm saying my way is a damn good way. So you guys give it a shot. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, if you like the video, you gotta like and subscribe. You know, it's just common sense, but, you know. Never mind, let's not get into that. We'll see you again on the next one. Till then, come on, big fish.